citizen of this country has a fundamental right of seeking information from any department, which should be shared actually by the department. Means any information that is there in the government can be accessed because it's a democracy. Ultimately, the persons who are actually administering us or ruling us are nothing but our representatives. We have elected them and for a particular term, and during that particular term, they administer. And while administering, I'll tell you, there should not be any kind of a discrimination, right, etc. So, for example, you are a government employee, you are working, your promotion is due, but you have not been promoted. But the ones who joined with you and some of them who are junior to you have been promoted, you have not been promoted. Reasons may be different. But according to you, I'll tell you, you don't have any reason for a promotion to be withheld. So under these circumstances, if you go actually through ordinary channels, go and actually, they will give one or the other reason, right? That may be acceptable, not acceptable. So if you can actually make use of your right information, asking reasons why you have not been promoted. On the other hand, how actually the ones who are my contemporaries, juniors have been promoted, given the reason actually withholding of my promotion. They have to give it in writing. They have to give it in writing. Once actually get it in writing, if you think that actually the justification that is given is not acceptable, you can certainly agitate, file a case against the particular actually department or whatever it is in an appropriate forum. Then the appropriate forum actually will
Sir,
certainly.
Namaskara.
Namaste.
Hello. Sir, Namaste. Hello.
ಹೇಳಿ.
Hello. ನಾನು ತಿರುವಳ್ಳಿ ಕಾಲೇಜಿಂದ ಮಾತಾಡೋದ್ರಿ. ಹಲೋ. ತಿರುವಳ್ಳಿ ಕಾಲೇಜಿಂದ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಿರೋದಮ್ಮ. ರೀ ಆಫ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ರಪ್ಪ.
Please actually switch off your audio. What is this? Your private calls actually being diverted here. No, you'll have to be responsible when you are on an online class. How can you allow your private calls to be aired here? Please, be responsible. Yes. I was saying something. Yeah. You can agitate before an appropriate actually forum. Say you can file a case actually in KAT or so High Court. The High Court will certainly look into it. If the justification is not proper for withholding your promotion, certainly you can get actually an order or direction from the High Court telling the government to promote you, etc., etc. So this is one, I'll tell you, the easy mode of actually getting your problem solved. But this particular actually act did not come into existence even after the constitution coming into existence for nearly 50 years. So our constitution came into existence in 1950. And this act came into existence in 2005. 55 long years, I'll tell you. We did not provide this basic facility to every citizen. And we still actually say we run actually the government on democratic principles. So this is one historic actually act, I'll tell you, which provides every citizen of this country to seek whatever information that is required for him to get his problem solved before any particular authority. So the question actually comes into picture, what are the other objects for which actually this act has come into existence? There are 4 principal actually objects. One is to seek information. For example, right to seek information is a fundamental right. Under Article 19, under the Constitution, we have provided this, and the Constitution came into existence in 1950 itself. 1950 itself, actually, every citizen had a fundamental right of seeking information. The question was, there was no practical regime to seek the information. There was a right, no doubt, but you could not actually go to a particular department, ask for the information and take it, because in that particular department, there was no person actually in charge of providing the information. And he was not actually given any kind of a set of rules as to how such an application should be disposed of. Or if you refused, what you can do it. And if he misled you, what should be done? What is the authority where you can go in appeal? What punishment should be given to a public servant who doesn't give this information? These things were not there. In order to provide for these things, this act came into existence in 2005. This act came into existence in order to make only the fundamental right of seeking information a practical one. First one, right? This is the reason. We had the right, but you didn't have the provision actually or the practical procedure to seek the information. We have created a practical procedure for seeking information. Secondly, so in administration, we need to have actually some principles in order to make the administration more accountable, transparent, and efficient. So in order to make administration efficient, two things actually are very important. Some of you may be in administration also. You should be knowing it. Two important. One is your administration is transparent. You can't actually do anything which is something actually against law. When everybody watching you, you can't actually do anything illegal because people are watching you. If nobody is watching you, then you can do anything and subsequently still say, I have not done anything, right? So this right to information is such a powerful, actually transparent tool. Whatever you do in your department, I'll tell you, by paying 10 rupees, I can apply to your department, seek all the information of the past activities of the department. It is like, a powerful torch where it can actually throw light on all your activities actually of the past as well as the present. So therefore, all government servants actually will be very cautious because whatever they have done, I'll tell you, if they are not done according to the provisions of law, certainly you can actually get that information and agitate actually before the appropriate authority. So therefore, transparency is important. This is a very powerful tool actually of seeking information. Secondly, accountability. Once actually a person does not do his duty, he has done something wrong, he must be made accountable. That is actually possible. These days, I'll tell you, many of the bureaucrats, politicians who are actually getting caught and going to jail because of corruption, etc., most of them actually are being punished based on RTI information. Is such a powerful actually tool, I'll tell you. Most of the ministers, union ministers, state ministers, chief minister, they are all going to jail on corruption charges because of RTA. Because there you will be able to get actually solid actually proof as to what exactly he has done. So this is second reason, in order to make actually our administration transparent. So therefore now public servants actually are really scared of RTA because in RTA any person actually can seek any information. Even actually the past actually activities. Say for example, 10 years ago, I did something wrong. Today, any person actually can dig that actually information back and actually file a case against me before the court of law. This is second principle. Thirdly, ours is a democracy. In a democracy, I'll tell you, not to make democracy more workable, you need to have a kind of actually people who are aware of actually of the day-to-day administration. So in any democracy, I'll tell you, the level of democracy increases depending on the awareness level of the people. In a country, I'll tell you, the awareness level of the people is low means their quality of democracy is not good. That is the reason why there are only less than 100 countries in the world out of 193 who are democracies, which are democracies, including India. But out of these 100 countries which are democracies, real democracies, there are only 18. And India is not included in that. US is not there. UK is not there. Neither France, nor Germany, nor Australia, nor Canada. Then you might ask me, sir, where is the true democracy? Norway, Sweden, Denmark, the small actually countries, I'll tell you, who have a perfect democracy where the perfect understanding actually between the ruler and the ruled is actually in existence, right? So therefore, in a democracy, not to improve the level of democracy, you need to actually have information where every citizen should have. I'll give a small example. Imagine a village where all the people of that particular village earn their livelihood by committing theft actually in other villages. Every day morning, the people actually get up in that village, go to other villages, commit theft and some kind of illegal activity and make some money, come back and actually take care of their family. Say, for example, this is the village where all 5,000 people actually are thieves. If we introduce democracy there, who will be the leader of that village? Who will be the leader of that village? One grand thief, a dacoit should be the leader of that village. Because in a democracy, you will have to select a leader who is very powerful and strong. In a village of thieves, who will be strong? Who is great? A great thief, right? You can understand actually now the meaning of democracy. Therefore, in order to make democracy more acceptable, saner, you will have to create awareness amongst the people so that you can actually have a better leadership, right? So that is. And lastly and fourthly, to contain corruption, I'll tell you, this RTI is required. Today, most of the public servants are scared of one thing. That is RTA. Because they know that if I ever do anything wrong, some people actually might seek information under RTA, and through that I could be caught. If they refuse to give information, they are punished. If they give information, wrong information, they are punished. If they give right information where his misdeeds are revealed, he'll be punished. So hardly there is any chance for a corrupt actually bureaucrat or a politician to survive under this particular act. Now tell me whether such an act actually is required or not. Whether such an act is required or not. Please raise your hand if the act is required. Oh, most of you are not listening to me, I believe. Hardly few hands are going up. The rest are busy.
Yes, sir.
It's required, sir.
Yes, sir.
It's required, sir.
You don't have, simply raise your hand.
Required, sir. Requiring, sir.
It's
required,
The act is requiring, sir.
Thank you.
required, sir.
I'll give you some practical examples how you can actually make use of this particular wonderful piece of legislation in order to make this country wonderful, right? So this is it. Then you might ask me, sir, such a wonderful piece of legislation, why it took actually 50 years to come into existence? In India, nothing comes fast. So we were actually under foreign rule for 1000 years. We simply allowed everybody to come and rule us. We were so complacent, so happy. Come anybody, loot anything, go away, we said. And at last somebody realized, no, we should actually get independence. We started fighting for independence. How long did we fight? More than 200 years. No other country on the face of the planet fought for independence for 200 years. 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, they took out actually guns, get shot, died or killed, they got independence. In our country, I'll tell you, no violence, nothing, only peaceful means. 200 long years we fought. At last, actually, we got liberation actually from the British, not because we used violence, because they were so fed up, I'll tell you. Do anything you like, they walked out, right? So before independence, not much blood actually was shed. But immediately after independence, what is being done? A lot of blood actually is being shed. Anyway, that is not actually a concern. So therefore, in India, everything actually takes time. Got my point? So 50 years, we fought for 50 years, got this particular act actually into existence. Then I'll tell you. So look, these are the background of the act. There was an act called Official Secrets Act 1923. You know which state actually brought RTA first time in this country? Not central government. It was actually Tamil Nadu. Jayalalitha brought this particular. Anybody in Tamil Nadu should feel proud of it. Jayalalitha brought this particular act, and also Goa, right? You know, Jayalalitha was actually caught taking bribe under this act only. Her own law actually becomes a problem for her. She went to jail, came back and went away permanently, right? And at the end of the day, I'll tell you, Jayalalitha's actually, the entire empire collapsed by the law which was made by her. That is Tamil Nadu. And Goa, it's a wonderful piece of legislation. Karnataka also had one act in 2000, AP, Assam, etc., etc. But all these acts actually had one or the other actually, weaknesses, right? And when all these states were actually making this particular law, central government under Manmohan Singh thought we should also bring an act. They brought an act called Freedom of Information Act in 2002. That act actually was such a useless act, I'll tell you. It was absolutely useless piece of legislation. You know what actually it said? If you place your Right Information Act and Freedom of Information Act 2002, you read actually all 32 sections. Most of the sections actually are similar, identical, except actually section 3. On section 3, it says, in Freedom of Information Act, every citizen is free to seek information. Free, in the sense, if he wants, he can take. If he does not, he need not take. Under Right to Information Act, it says every citizen has the right to seek information. There we said freedom to seek information. Here we said right to seek information. There's plenty of difference. When you have freedom to seek information, if you want, you can take. If you don't want, you need not take. The person who gives the information is also a citizen. If he wants to give, he can give. He doesn't want to give, he doesn't give. That's the end of the story. I exercise my actually discretion. I want information, I'll come to you. You exercise your discretion, I'm not going to give you. Okay, I'll have to come back. But we replace that freedom with the right. When I come to your office seeking information, I come with a right. I want this information. Then you will have a duty. And according to the duty, you must give information. If you don't give information, you will be punished for it. So the act actually turns 360 degree, right? That is the difference between right and freedom. If we give freedom, these have actually misuse it. If we give right, these have actually can use it, right? So therefore, the Freedom of Information 2002 was replaced in 2005 Right to Information Act with 31 sections and 2 schedules. A wonderful piece of legislation. After this, actually, whenever you find time, please go through that, and also you can actually make use of it. And I do not want, in fact, actually talk everything. I would like to just actually give you the bare provisions of this particular act, right? Look, it has got 31 sections. Here, the question actually is very simple. When you want to seek information, what kind of information can you seek? Right? That's very, very important. Because not everything is in information. I want to say, I want to know whether your principal is married or not. And if he is married, how many children he has got? If he has got daughters, what are their age and where are they studying? Because he's a government servant, I want to seek information. Can I seek that information? Or I want to know what is actually your income and how you are spending that income. And whether you are paid income tax or not, I want to seek actually that information from you. So there are information, I'll tell you, which are very, very personal. That should not. That is why this act clearly says information means section 2F. Look here, actually, section 2F here. Clearly says if someone wants to seek information, only this he can seek, nothing else. There are only 16 kinds of information that are actually available, and in most of the department, there are only 16 kinds of information, nothing more, nothing less. What are they? For example, information means any material in any form, including records, documents, memos, emails, opinions, advices, press releases, circulars, orders, logbooks, contract, reports, papers, samples, models. Look, these are the kinds of departments. For example, if you are in central government, there are about 150 departments. In most of the state governments, we'll have 70 to 80 departments. In all these departments, I'll tell you, all official information actually will be in this particular format. What is that format? Either it could be a record or a document, a memo, opinion, etc., etc. This information you can see. And there's one more kind of information. So, for example, you are in college. There, many people actually take admission. And when a candidate actually approaches the college seeking admission, he, in the application form, he has to fill many, many details like father's name, mother's name, siblings, the caste, income, all private information actually will be. And that information only when he fills, then you can actually consider his application actually for admission, isn't it? That's one thing. But if someone actually wants to take that particular information from the college, so for example, I want to know the caste of a particular person. I want to know how many siblings you have. I want to know actually what is the income. These are all private information. If it is required actually for the public purpose, this information can be obtained. But if I go to that particular person personally and seek information, he won't give. He won't give. But when that person has submitted this information to your college, that I can get it provided that I'm seeking that information actually for general purpose or public purpose, right? So there are two kinds of actual information. One generated within your department. The other one is you have collected the information actually from the people according to law, which actually is in your custody, right? This information can be obtained. That is another thing, section 2F. Next is public. Who should actually give this information? So it is called public. All public authorities should give. Who are the public authorities? A public authority is an authority which is created by or under the Constitution. If any authority which is created by the Constitution or under the Constitution, that should actually give RTA information, right to information. And by any other law made by the Parliament or any other authority, secondly, which has been created by the law made in the Parliament, should give. All central government departments are bound by RTA. All central government departments. And third one, by any other law made by state legislature. All state government departments and authorities are bound by RTA. It should be given by RTA. I mean, information should be given for under RTA. Fourthly, by notification, you can even make a private actual organization bound by RTA to do it. Say, for example, you run a private hospital. A private hospital need not actually give information because it doesn't come under actually RTA. But the government gives you some kind of an aid to your hospital because you are doing a wonderful service. The moment you receive actually the government money, you are bound by RTA. Or if the government actually creates a provision where it wants to control or it nominates nominee in your administration, the moment actually control comes into picture to the government, then it has to give. Or thirdly, the government, even without these two things, can simply declare your organization as a public authority. Say, for example, you are running that hospital, no? There are more number of people are coming to your hospital than to the government hospital. More number of people. Government thinks in order to protect the interests of all those people, it one fine day through notification says this particular actually nursing home or hospital should come under RT. So then automatically come under RT. So therefore, these are the four authorities. So for example, in 2002, deemed university, somebody asked me any question actually in my previous session. Deemed universities did not come under RTI. Deemed universities did not come under RTI. But in 2002, MHRD in fact passed a resolution, issued a notification saying that even deemed universities which do not come under any of these actually categories can actually be brought under RTI. They are now actually under RTI. Even deemed university information also can be recorded. This is about public authority. And another definition actually is record. Usually in RTI, you seek information, the authorities actually must take out photocopies of actually of the records and give it to you. Isn't it? That is how actually you are thought. So records here means not necessarily a piece of paper, file, etc., etc. These days in the era of technology, I'll tell you, the record could actually be a manuscript or a file or a microfilm, facsimile or a document or an image or image embodied in such a microfilm. So therefore, the digital format actually of the record. So record, not necessarily a piece of paper or a file. It could also be an electronic record, right? That is the point they want to just actually make it very clear. Now, there's one more very critical actually question. You must be very careful here. So right information, most of you think that you apply by paying 10 rupees and seek information, they'll give you photocopies actually of the document which you wanted, where you pay 2 rupees per page. That is what you think. Now, look, section 2J, I'll read out, you will be shocked. Right? It says it. Right information means the right to information accessible on this act, which is held by under the control of any public authority and includes right to the inspection of work, documents, records, taking notes, extracts, taking certified samples, materials, obtaining information. So this is something much beyond taking actually photocopies. Say for example, I apply to your college saying that I want to come and actually attend a class of political science held by someone for 1 hour under RTA. You are the principal. Will you allow me? Say, my application is, I want to attend the class of a particular person as a citizen. Take 10 rupees application fees. And for inspection, 1 hour, 20 rupees I have to pay. 1 hour free. Next 1 hour, 20 rupees I have to pay. 1 hour I have to come and sit. So this is what actually happened when I had engaged a class. One of the government college principals said, one person wants to come and actually sit in the class, actually a political science teacher, sir, what shall I do? I asked, what will you do? He said, I'm not going to allow that idiot, he said. Why? Because he is not a political science professor and he has not paid any fees. Why should he comment? Sir, you are mistaken. Look at actually section 2J. What does it say? It says he has the right to inspection of work, documents and records. He wants to inspect the work. What is the work of the teacher? To teach. Inspect the work of the teacher. What does it mean? In order to come and actually sit and inspect how he teaches. Imagine tomorrow someone actually applies and he wants to come and sit in your class. Your principal cannot simply say no. He has to permit. He will come and actually sit in your class, right? Listens to you. And he reveals everything what actually you could understand in his Facebook, Twitter and all that nonsense. Isn't? He has every right to do it. So right to information is not just seeking information, I'll tell you. Right to information also means what? Inspection, infection. I can simply walk into your principal's chamber. Sir, I want to see today's attendance register of the faculties. What you should do? After taking 10 rupees actually application fee, and application, he must provide the attendance register of the faculties. Slowly, I take out my mobile and take a picture. Should you allow actually me to take the picture? Should you allow me or not? I have every right to take a picture. And
No,
out
sir.
of 25 faculties, only 10 have signed, remaining 15 have not signed, means I have a document to show that these many people have not come today. Yeah, somebody wanted to ask something? Okay.
Yes,
Anyway,
sir. Not to take the photocopy, sir.
sir, absolutely. Why not? Why not? Attendance list only. Why not? Certainly it can be taken. Anybody can actually, he has to pay. I'll tell you, he should be a citizen. He should actually pay RTA application fee and submit an application and take it. And I'll give you some more practical examples later on. Not only that, you can take notes. Say, I don't have a camera, say, or mobile. Say, I want actually today's attendance extract. Your principal actually has to take out a photocopy of it, sign and seal it and give it to me. Right? He has to do it. Not only that, certified samples also you can take. If someone actually is doing some kind of a civil work, right? Public Works Department is doing a civil work. I want to check whether actually cement, sand, everything actually is mixed in right proportion. I can take a sample, subject it actually for examination and use that material, I'll tell you, to file a case against this person that this person actually is not making the right mixture actually of concrete, right? These are the things I'll tell you it has created, right? This is right to information. Next is third party information. See, you pay income tax, do you? Raise your hand, don't have to open your mic. Many people are not raising hands. Does it mean that you're not paying income tax? Look, Navina is not raising hands. There's one lady, Malati, is busy talking to somebody. She doesn't know whether actually she has to pay income tax or not. She's still actually not attentive. Everybody has to pay income tax, isn't it? Can I ask actually your college that I want to copy of income tax returns that you have submitted? Will the government do it? I mean, will the college give it? Your college will not give it because it is to be submitted to whom? Income tax department. If I want actually an income tax actually returns, I must actually approach whom? Income tax department. Income tax department that easily will not give because that is your personal information. So what is your earning, what is your expenditure actually is personal information. But if I show it to the income tax department, I want actually for public purpose. What is that public purpose? This man actually is walking to the college 2 years ago. Last year he had bought second-hand scooter to the college. Now actually he has got 3 cars. I doubt, I'll tell you, this person actually has not provided his income properly to the income tax department. Therefore, I want it. How could he actually acquire 3 cars when he was not even actually could afford a scooter actually 2 years ago? Then it's a public purpose. It's a public purpose, right? And that has to be given if the purpose actually is public. Third party information is your personal information. So, for example, in your area, you go to the hospital, government hospital for your health checkup. Okay. And I, as a citizen of that particular actually town, go and actually approach the hospital. I want to know the health condition of our teacher who comes here thrice a week actually to the hospital. Should the doctor actually give your health condition or health certificates? It's a private information. It cannot be given. I'll give you some information later when I come to that particular thing. Next is, who can seek information? Can anybody seek information? Anybody? School going kid actually comes to your college and says, uncle, I want this information, take 10 rupees. He tells your principal. What should your principal do? 9th standard student actually comes to your office, says, auntie, I want this information, give me, take 10 rupees. Will you give as the principal? Yes or no?
No, sir.
Why? Is he not a citizen? Is he not a citizen? I'll tell you, that is why I'm telling you, all citizens. Who is a citizen question comes.
Minor, sir. He is a citizen person, but minor student, no, sir. Because of that reason, we have to know, not to provide the information.
Say your son is a minor. Does it mean that he is not a citizen of this country? I'll tell you, a citizen is one who actually is born. A citizen is one who is born an Indian citizen of any age. Even 1 hour old baby is a citizen of this country. And
Yes, sir. Citizen of the country only, sir.
I'm-
Sir.
yeah. See, do you have children, my dear lady? No. Open.
Yes, sir.
How old are they?
Yes, sir. 12 years, sir.
The 12-year-old baby, is he a citizen of this country?
Yes, sir.
Then,
Citizen
then,
of
then,
country
then
only.
there is the answer. I'll tell you, all citizens have the right. Whether 12-year-old or a 6 months old or a 95 years old. See, only citizens have the right, I'll tell you. Then you might ask me, sir, the 1-year-old baby, how can I actually ask any information? The baby himself or herself needed to ask the information. The baby can actually ask the information through somebody else, father, mother, guardian, nurse, doctor, anybody. Because the government spends actually money on everybody, isn't it? So the baby also wants, why you did not give me the facility to my mother, which you are given to my neighbor's mother. Under RTA, you can actually ask information. Therefore, it is the right of every citizen, right? Whether young, old, or... So, Citizenship Act 1955 actually gives the clear actually picture. You do not have to worry about that. Okay. Now, this is about actually giving. So, then, what is actually the public authority make itself actually or prepare itself in order to give this information? Section 4(1)(a) and B are very important. I told you what is information, and it has to be given to any person who's seeking the information. But in order to give that particular information should be ready in your office, isn't it? For that, actually, section 4(1)(a) and 4(1)(b) is created. 4(1)(a) says every public authority has 4 actually responsibilities. One is catalog all the documents, cataloging. Then after that, index that documents. Second one. The third one actually is computerize all these actually documents, means digitalize all these documents. And lastly, once you are computerized, connect it to network. Means all your office documents actually are computerized and connected to internet means nobody needs to come to your actually office to seek the information because in your web page, everything is available. That is our purpose, I'll tell you. When everything is available on the net, why should I come to your office, pay 10 rupees, wait in queue and wait so long to get the information? So this is exactly what is actually called transparent administration. Say, I'll tell you, in your college for a course, there are 10 seats and there are 25 applications. So how will you distribute actually 10 seats for these 25 people? Will you sell these seats to the highest bidder? Or will you give actually 10 seats of your choice? Or will you give these actually 10 seats only to boys, not to girls? You will have to have a policy, I'll tell you. What is that policy? On what basis you give actually seats? You mention it. Whether you have done it or not, let me see. If you upload actually 25 application, 10 seats, on what basis you have actually selected on the net, nobody will come and actually question you because every information is available on the net. Isn't it? If you do it, I'll tell you, you can't actually mismanage it. You will have to give actually seats only according to merit. Isn't it? Only according to merit, only the 10 meritorious students actually will get 10 seats. The remaining 15 will not get. If you don't have this kind of actual transparency, you can do anything actually with these 10 seats to give it to anybody, a person of your choice. So that is one thing. Secondly, there are 17 kinds of information you should actually disclose, put it on your website on your own without being asked, or on your notice board. This is called proactive disclosure. It is called proactive disclosure. What is proactive? Without being asked, you will have to provide all this information. These are such vital information, I'll tell you. Most of the people need it. When you don't give them, they'll come asking to your office and come and disturb you. If you simply voluntarily put it actually on the web page, on the notice board, they'll never come and disturb you. They'll take the information what is required. Say, for example, I want a particular actually seat in a particular college. Whether that seat actually is available or not, if it is on the notice board, will I ever come and trouble you? What is actually, whether there is any seat reserved for actually an ex-serviceman, I look into it. If there are no seats reserved for ex-servicemen means if you mentioned actually on your notice board, will I ever come and actually disturb you? No. So therefore, everything should be made available on the notice board or the public actually domain. These are the 17 kinds of information which should be there. What are those 17 kind of information? Look, these are the ones. First one is particulars of the organization's functions and duties. Your organization name and functions and duties. You'll have to mention first hand. And secondly, you must also mention here powers and duties of employee. How many employees are there? What are their powers and duties? And procedure in decision making. I mean, it's how you take a decision when there is so much of actually applicants who come there. Channels of supervision. Who is at the bottom? Who is above him? Who is at the top? How actually supervision takes place, so that I can go to the appropriate person actually for seeking relief. Similarly, fourth one actually is norm set by PA for discharge of functions. For every duty that you do, what are the rules that are there? How you should do duty? That you must actually mention. And all rules, regulations, instructions, manuals, records, etc., of your department, which you use, must be available on your web page. I need not comment actually trouble you. You should actually mention that. And the statement of categories. What kind of documents are available in your department? If you make a list and put it on the notice board, I'll see whether actually my information is available in your department or not. If it is there, I'll go to the right person, ask for the information. In the notice board, you say such information is not available, I'll never even enter your actual department. So this is how it is. And consultation, if you have any consultation arrangement, you'll have to mention it. Any board, council, committees, etc. you have in your department, please mention it. And directory of officers, all the employees, a list of all officers, right? And according to the rank, their name, designation, salary, everything should be clearly written and displayed, right? Monthly remuneration of each and every person in your department must be mentioned on the board. Outside, it should be available. Budget allocation. What is the budget, state government budget or the central government budget for your department? You must mention it. And if there is any subsidy program, to whom it is available, that also you should mention it. And particulars of any concession you give to anybody, that should be mentioned. Besides this, whether you have all the information actually in the electronic format or not, you mention it. If it is in the electronic format, I don't come, I send a mail or I get into your actual website and try to look into it, right? Mention that. Besides this, you must also very clearly and very carefully mention the name of the person who is called public information officer, where everybody must actually come and inquire that person only. He is called public information officer, right? And his name should be there, and an arrow should show where exactly his office is located, so that one can go to his office directly. And lastly, besides this, if he has got any other information to share, these are the 17 kinds of information. One, you please check up actually whether in your college department this information is actually displayed or not. If it is not displayed, I'll tell you, the head of the department or your principal is liable actually for punishment. You know what is the punishment? 250 rupees per day fine, up to 25,000 rupees. Besides that, a departmental inquiry will also be held. So therefore, you must advise your principal or HOD that 41B must be complied with. Otherwise, I can ask my student to apply to your college. Because in my law school, I'll tell you, we have one subject called RTI, where every student actually in one semester must apply under RTI and obtain actual information. Only then I'll tell you their practical training actually is over. And if someone doesn't give the information, he must go in appeal. From appeal to the Information Commission. Logically, he must conclude. I'll tell you, this kind of an exercise actually has created so much of awareness amongst, because in the last 20 years, I must have spoken to not less than 20 to 25,000 people across the country. And every public servant is scared of only one thing in his life. You know what it is? Right to information. They are not scared of their wives or husbands, but they are scared of RTI, because the RTI might actually create any kind of a problem. What else you want? Such a kind of an awareness you have been able to bring amongst the public servants. I think that is, to me, I'll tell you, is great initial success, I would say, right? And going further. Sorry, I don't. Do you know who is the public information officer in your college? I think most of you are from college or departments. Those who are from college, please raise your hand. Those who are from colleges. Okay. Those who actually raise the hand, you please tell me who is the public information officer in your college, right? It is your principal. It is your principal. I don't know whether your principal knows it or not. Many of the principals do not know that I am the public information officer. Unfortunately, you must tell. And if you don't know, please let me know your address. I'll ask my students to, in fact, actually file an application under RTI to seek information actually from your college so that your principal actually can wake up and do it. If there is any principal here, don't mistake me, sir. We are not actually troubling you. We are only creating actually kind of an awareness here, right? And appointment actually of PIOs. Every department must have an PIO, Public Information Officer. The offices are very big, huge, and located actually in different actually centers. You can also appoint Assistant Public Information Officer, right? Public Information Officer is principally responsible actually for providing the information. But look at actually section 5, subsection 4 and 5. He shall be assisted actually by other co-employees. And say, for example, you are the public information officer. I ask some information in your department. That information actually is with your colleague. You try to seek the information from that colleague to give that information to me. The moment you seek that information from your colleague, you do not remain a public information. He becomes a public information officer. Then if he doesn't give, you will not be punished. He will be punished. Right? This is how I'll tell you in your office, except your attendants and peons, all are equally responsible under RTI. If you don't give information, the person who holds the information, refuses to give the information, refuses to, in fact, actually entertain the application, all of them actually are equally responsible for it, right? So this is it. And request actually could be in any format. Request could be in any format, right? Only 3 things has to be there in the request. There is no format. One, the sender's address properly, name, address, etc., etc. And to whom you are actually filing that application, that person's address is actually name, address properly. Third, and the most important is what information you want. Clearly must actually mention it, right? So this is it. And no reason need to be given. Why you need that information? No reason to be given. You don't have to give reason actually for that. And say, for example, wrongly if I ask information from your department, instead of actually going to the right department, wrongly I come to your department. You can't reject that application. What you must do is, from your end, you must transfer that application to the concerned department. So that is your responsibility. Within 5 days, you must transfer. Section 7 says there are 4 time frames within which you must give information. There are certain information which should be given within 48 hours. Some within 30 days, some within 35 days, some within 40 days. Which are those information which shall be given within 48 hours? Any information concerning a person's liberty and life is involved in it, then it shall be given within 48 hours. Say, for example, a person's life is being threatened. I want to know his condition. You can't wait for 1 month to get that information. Within 48 hours, it should be. 30 days is usual. In most of the cases, it's 30 days. 35 days actually in 2 cases. In 2 cases, 35 days. Say, for example, misdirected application. Instead of coming to your office, I go to some other office and submit my application. They can't reject. They must take and transfer that application to your office within actually how many days? 5 days, 35 days. 1. Secondly, I told you there will be assistant public information officers. If I ever give an application to assistant public information officer, this assistant public information officer must transfer this application to the public information officer within 5 days. So there are only 2 situations where 35 days will be taken. 40 days, there is only 1 situation. Say, for example, I ask your personal information. So that whether it is personal or not, it is doubtful. Under those circumstances, a notice, for example, I want some information from you. The public information officer says, it is a personal information, it cannot be given. I say, no, it is not personal information, it should be given. Then a notice will be sent to you by public information. Someone is asking this information, should it be given or not? If he says yes, you can give it. If he says no, then he must give reasons. And if he still actually have any doubt, it can be referred to the Information Commission. That is actually 40 days, right? These are the 4 time frame you must say. you'll have to give generally within 30 days all the information. You have been searching for the information, but you cannot collect all the information within 30 days. But on 31st day, you collect all the information. Can you give it actually on 31st day? You can certainly give it on 31st day, but you cannot charge it. You'll have to give free of cost. Once you cross the limit, time limit, it has to be given free of cost. That is one thing. Next is, the moment an application comes to you, you must calculate actually the fee, how much actually is to be paid, and you must intimate the person. So your information application I have received, it contains 200 pages, paid 400 rupees, then information will be given. Unless and until he pays, you should not give the information. It has to be given only when actually information is, he has paid the fees. And for inspection also, you will have to apply with application with 10 rupees. And for first 1 hour, you have absolute actually freely inspect any document. If you want to inspect actually for more than 1 hour, additional 1 hour actually costs you 20 rupees. Right? This is it. If you don't give within a reasonable time, you'll have to give free of charge. And if a third party request is concerned, whether it is third party information or not, you should look into it. When you're rejecting the information, that it is not the information or exempted information or it is private information, you want to reject it, give reasons, you'll have to give it, right? And usually this information should be given in the format the person seeks. If he seeks an information in a particular format, in that format, he should actually give. And I'll tell you, when an application comes, RTI application comes, you have only 3 choices. One, if it is available, give it. Right? Available, what you should do? Give it within time. Secondly, that information actually is not within your department, it is in some other department, transfer it within actually 5 days. Third one, if the information is there, but it is an exempted information, prohibited information, you will not give. Only 3, right? These are the options. But there are, I'll tell you, 10 circumstances. The information you have, but you need not give, they are exempted information. There are 10 situations where you have the information with you, but you don't have to give because they are exempted from being given. What are they? Please try to remember these actually 10. One is information disclosure of which would prejudicially affect the sovereignty integrity of this country. If any information you have, if it given to somebody, it affects our sovereignty and integrity, it should not be given, right? I'm sure I'll tell you in the education department, there is no such information which affects the sovereignty and integrity of the country. There are departments, I'll tell you, which have such very sensitive information, they should give. There are 24 departments, I'll tell you, which are kept outside the purview of RTI, where RTI doesn't apply to them at all, including CBI. Okay, that's one thing. Certainly, secondly, if a court has expressly said that such information shall not be given till further orders, you are not supposed to give. Maybe it is possible. There is a case pending before the court, and the court actually says such information need not be given. Okay. And next one, information, the disclosure which would cause breach of privileges of the parliament, state legislature. Our MLAs and MPs, I'll tell you, have some privileges, right? They have 5 privileges. One is speech. They can speak any nonsense inside the house, not outside. If they speak like that outside, there will be a defamatory case actually against that person. But inside the house, you can speak any nonsense. So you can't breach it. Secondly, whatever actually happens within the house, I'll tell you, that has to be controlled by house itself. No external actually people, no police can enter. What happens inside should not be disclosed outside by any other person other than the house itself. And if there is any kind of an offense, arrest and punishment should be done by house only. Contrary to this, no information should be given. That is also an exempted information. And some information like commercial confidence, trade secrets, competitive actually position of a third party need not. I'll give a simple example. You are a scientist, you have invented actually some kind of a device which drives away mosquitoes for 1 kilometer diameter. You put that bulb actually in your house, 1 kilometer around your house, no mosquitoes will ever come. You have spent 15 years actually to develop the technology, and you have actually patented it. Now I go to patent office, pay 10 rupees, I say, I give me the formula. Will they give? They cannot, because it is a patented actually kind of information. It cannot be given. That is information actually commercial confidential. And next is information available in fiduciary capacity. Some information you give it to some people who are so close, so personal information you share actually with them. Say, for example, when you go to doctor because you are suffering some kind of a disease, will you hide anything from him? Though the doctor is a stranger, you literally tell everything to that particular person which you are not actually even told to your own family people. Why you tell? Because fiduciary relationship. Only when you tell everything, the doctor will be able to give you proper treatment. Can I ask the doctor to give all the information a patient has given to him? No, I can't ask. Similarly with advocate, right? Lawyer, client, doctor, patient, look, these people, trustee, beneficiary, parent, child, these are all the people. A woman actually goes to a doctor once and asks, I want actually one of your patient's BP and sugar level I want. No. Doctor says, he is my patient, I can't give. Not only that, sir, I want to know whether he is HIV positive or negative. I want to know that. The doctor gets terribly irritated. Nonsense. How can I give that information? I can't give. If not to me, to who else will you give? You'll have to give it to me. Doctor says, why? I am going to marry that person, therefore give me this information. What will you do? A prospective actually bride comes to you, you as a doctor, a patient who is coming, give me all the information I want to marry. If the person is suffering from some kind of a disease, I don't want to marry. But according to law, I'll tell it is confidential information. But he says, I'll tell you for my marriage, you must actually give it. Then, doctor actually do one thing. What is that? He must actually issue a notice to that particular lady saying that someone actually is asking about your information. Should it be given or not? If the person says, don't problem, give it, you can give it. If he says, don't give it, it's my personal information for the following reasons, you don't have to, right? So this is exactly what is actually fiduciary information. Next one is any information the government has received in confidence from foreign governments. Look, I'll tell you this kind of skirmishes that has actually been happening between India and Pakistan. We received actually plenty of intelligence input from many of our friendly countries. You and I cannot actually ask government of India who has given what information, share with us. No, it cannot be. And any information, nextly, if it endangers somebody's life, that information I cannot give. So because, I can simply ask some dangerous information. I'll lay you one very interesting example. This RBI, where actually notes are printed, there someone actually asked an information. Every day you print note and send it actually to RBI through lorries. I want the route maps of those lorries. Where do they go and in what way they go? Give me the route maps. Can that be shared? It cannot be shared, I'll tell you, because you'll be waiting there actually to attempt a robbery, isn't it? So these are all private information which cannot be given. And any information which impedes the investigation. When you are investigating something, the secrets of investigation cannot be revealed unless the investigation is completed. It cannot be done. And next is cabinet papers, including records of deliberation. Cabinet decisions you can ask, not deliberations. Deliberations means many of the ministers actually will be speaking many other things. What they spoke, in whose favor they spoke, all those things should not be given. But at the end, what should be given is whether the decision taken by the cabinet, only that can be shared, nothing else. It cannot be given anything more than that. That is one thing. And lastly is very personal information. Very, very personal information. So, for example, which God you worship every day, what you eat for breakfast, where you take your husband or your wife actually for walk. All these things are very personal. I'll tell you, you are a public servant, no doubt. Doesn't mean you can actually give this personal information. This personal information cannot be given at all. So someone actually asked, when Manmohan Singh actually was the Prime Minister, someone asked, he said, I want to know BP and sugar level of our Prime Minister. The PMO replied saying that actually don't worry, there are 5 doctors who are taking care of his actually health. If there is any considerable alteration in that, we'll let you know. It is already perfectly all right. You can't give exactly. An 80-year-old man actually will have fluctuations actually in BP and sugar. If you reveal it actually in public, there will be a panic in public. It cannot be given. And not only that, further asked, saying that actually he underwent bypass surgery in All India Institute of Medical Sciences. What was the cost and who paid? He was Prime Minister at that time. So the cost was at 18 lakh rupees, and who should pay that cost? The government. He was a Prime Minister, right? But someone else asked. It seems Sonia Gandhi has got a disease. What is it? And people say that she has spent 900 crores for that treatment. Who paid it? Both cannot be given. Your disease is a very personal information. And the money that is actually paid is a kind of guesswork, and government of India has not paid, right? So these are all very, very personal information. Look, these things actually are considered as personal information. Racial, ethnic origin is a personal, and political opinion. You are a public servant, but what is your political, which party you support? I can't ask. You will support some party, but I can't ask. You don't have to tell. And religious beliefs, right? Anyway, most of us actually, by looking at a person, can find out actually which religion he, because we are so transparent until we exhibit our actually what? Religious beliefs. Not only religious beliefs, the further divisions actually in the religion, sect and subsects, everything we reveal. And sexual orientation. This is very difficult. This is very difficult. Are you a man or woman? If I ever ask a man, are you a man? He gets terribly irritated. What do you mean by how do I look? He will say. If I ask a woman, are you a woman? She gets terribly irritated. He would say, what nonsense are you talking? But it's a fact, I'll tell you. There are 11 lakh people in this country who are neither man nor woman. They are transsexuals. Right? See, and moreover, in your department, they might be having, I'll tell you, these people live a very miserable life. And if they don't reveal it, we can't actually know it, because in most of the applications, any government applications, male, female, only 2 options were there. These people could not even actually apply. Supreme Court actually decided, saying that actually there must be a 3rd column. What is that? Any other. They call it LGBTQ plus. There are so many divisions within that LGBTQ plus, right? You'll have to mention it, right? So therefore, sexual orientation, yes, BBC, once a person asked BBC, how many homosexuals and lesbians are there in BBC organization? They said 250 lesbians, 450 actually homosexuals are there. Can I ask in your department how many lesbians and homosexuals are there? We are very secretive of it, I'll tell you. It has to be revealed one day. Anyway, it is a personal information which need not be revealed, right? Look, these are the things actually which are given here, which are. So one thing, look, this is personal information. I told you personal information should not be given. What is that personal information? Any information which you do not want to give to a stranger is a personal information. A stranger comes to you, he says, what is the age of your daughter? Will you ever give to a stranger? No. If a close friend asks you, what is the age of your daughter? You will give, right? There you don't say it's personal information. So personal information is that information which you hesitate to divulge with the strangers, right? For example, name. Someone actually out of blue, he comes and says, what is your name? I'll tell you, most of the people actually ask your name and phone numbers. You readily give it. Please don't do it. Your phone number actually is very, very precious one. And, most of the people actually are very, very fond of actually taking selfies and uploading actually in the Facebook, saying like this, etc., etc. If you ever expose actually this index finger, it is very dangerous. This is the finger through which I'll tell you your biometrics are actually determined. They can take the photograph actually with a very sensitive camera, use your actually biometrics to open your account and password. So you should be very careful. Address is a personal identification, is a personal information. Email address is a personal information. Photographs are very, very personal information. Don't share actually photographs actually with strangers. Demography, age, gender, marital status, nationality, education, all only to known people you must give, or official actually kind of actually channels you must give it. Financial information should be very careful. Income details, don't give it to any other. Bank accounts, text returns, all these things. Health information, medical history, no. Say, for example, you have a very rare blood group. 1 in 25 lakh people have that blood group. If you ever divulge it, I'll tell you, someone with that blood group, I'll tell you, needs blood, then he doesn't get, he can actually simply ask somebody, at any cost, I want blood. You know what they do? They simply kill you, take the blood and actually give it to that person. If he gets actually 2 lakh rupees, he doesn't mind to it. So these medical actually health information should not be shared. Health records, disability status, employment information, legal information, nothing should be shared. These are all personal information. Anyway, now we have actually Digital Personal Protection Act, and this further actually protects your actually information, which has come into existence now. You don't have to worry about it. And before I conclude, I would like to just actually say these things. We have these rules. They're called right information rules. For central government departments, you can apply right information. In your application, they shall not be more than 250 words. Your application must be less than 250 words. If it crosses actually 250 words, then those people actually can reject your application for that information which beyond 250 words. Means they will give information only within what actually 250 words actually indicate. Beyond that, you will have to apply for that. If you are in Karnataka, you will have, your application must contain only 150 words. And in one application, you can ask on one subject any number of questions. Subject should be one. Any number of questions you can ask. If you change the subject, for each subject, you will have to apply separately. Right? This is one thing. And nextly, for BPL card holders, there is no application fees. 10 rupees you not have to pay. Up to 100 pages of A4, A5 size information, free of cost it should be given. Beyond 100 pages, each page should be charged only 1 rupee. This is for BPL card holders. And non-BPL card holders, application fees is 10 rupees. 10 rupees you will have to pay. And for every page, it is 2 rupees. Right from page 1, you will have to pay 2 rupees. If the information actually is in big sheets like engineering, drawing, etc., they are not A4 or A5 size. They are big size. Their actual cost actually of photocopy should be paid. This is exactly what is actually called right information rules, right? This should actually be followed. As I already mentioned, your name, the address is name, and the required information along with actually this. Either in some department they take cash, in some department they take actually postal orders, in some department actually you can transfer money through your actually mobile, through some of the apps, etc. You can do it. It all depends actually on the kind of facility each department actually has got, right? And sometimes actually these days the government is encouraging to send application on through email and take the information actually through email. Digitally, you can send the question and get it. That's going to, in fact, actually be helpful to everybody that you must actually do it. Right? So this is it. And